There's something magical about the sound of a guitar in the 70s and 80s. It wasn't just about notes and chords, it was attitude, soul, rebellion, and heartbreak all rolled into one. So today, we're not talking about the usual guitar gods, we're diving into the overlooked ones. Before Chicago became known for soft rock ballads, they were a fierce, horn-powered rock band. And at the heart of that early fire, Terry Kath. His guitar playing was explosive, full of fuss, chaos, and soul. Jimi Hendrix himself reportedly called Kath better than me. And honestly, listen to 25 or 6/4 or Freeform Guitar, and you'll hear why. Kath had that raw, unfiltered energy, like he was playing from the gut every time. But his brilliance never got the same attention as Clapton or Page. When he died in 1987, it felt like rock lost a secret weapon, one too few even knew existed.
Such a man, such a holy place to be.
While Bowie transformed himself again and again, Mick Ronson stayed in the background, quietly painting soundscapes with his Les Paul. The Ziggy Stardust era wouldn't have worked without Ronson's gritty, melodic tone grounding all the glitter and drama. Songs like Moon Age Daydream or Suffragette City come alive because of him, that blend of glam and punch, class and chaos. Ronson wasn't flashy, but every note counted. He made guitar parts you could hum, and when he stepped out on his own later, his talent still shone, just without the spotlight it deserved. You might have missed Bebop Deluxe, but Bill Nelson? That man was bending time. His guitar work was somewhere between sci-fi and blues, mixing glam rock with jazz complexity. It was way ahead of its time.
Fires on spires and chambers of black.
Albums like Sunburst Finish or Futurama sound like lost messages from the future, and Nelson's guitar is always the guide. He could shred, sure, but he never lost the emotion. He painted moods, told stories, made his solos feel like they were taking you somewhere. Why he's not brought up in the same breath as Brian May or Steve Howe is a mystery, but those who know, know. Yeah, Rush is huge, but when people talk about them, it's always Geddy Lee's bass or Neil Peart's drums. And that's a crime, because Alex Lifeson is the glue holding all that madness together. He wasn't just riffing, he was building worlds. Listen to La Villa Strangiato or Xanadu. It's prog rock storytelling at its finest, and Lifeson's guitar is the narrator. He could go from delicate arpeggios to towering walls of sound, often in the same song, and yet he never demanded attention. He just delivered, again and again. This is one of those names that only hardcore heads bring up. Ollie Halsall was a shapeshifter, sliding from jazz fusion to proto-punk to psychedelia with ease. His work with Pato during the early 70s? Completely wild. He played like his guitar was on fire, not in a sloppy, chaotic way, but in a totally unhinged, how is he doing that sort of way. Songs like The Man or Hold Me Back are full of insane runs and off-kilter grooves. He was respected by musicians but ignored by the mainstream. It's a shame. He could have been a household name in another world. Earl Slick is the guy who was always there, in the studio, on the tour, laying down killer guitar parts. He filled Ronson's shoes with Bowie, played with Lennon, and had a solo career full of grit and blues. His work on Bowie's Station to Station or Young Americans is iconic. His tone had teeth, it had swagger, but he never got flashy. He just played with feel. Every note had weight. He might not be on the Mount Rushmore of guitarists, but without him, a lot of classic records wouldn't sound the same. Okay, this one is a bit earlier, late 60s to early 70s, but Gary Duncan bled into the 80s with a psychedelic guitar style that shaped the San Francisco scene. He wasn't about shredding, he was about vibe. Long, spiraling solos that made you feel like you were floating in a lava lamp. His interplay with John Cipollina on Who Do You Love is legendary. By the time the 80s rolled around, tastes had changed, but Duncan kept playing, still carrying that free-form spirit. A reminder that not every guitar hero came from the school of speed. Now, this one's for the late 80s. Ty Tabor was laying down crushing riffs and lush harmonies before grunge was even a word. King's X blended Beatles melodies with Sabbath heaviness, and Tabor's tone was at the center of it.
Looking for a way back.
Listen to Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. It's a masterclass in how to make a guitar sound huge and emotional at the same time. His solos were tasteful, never flashy, but they hit. Ask any 90s rock guitarist, most of them were secretly taking notes from Tabor. Remember Hocus Pocus? That bizarre song with yodeling and shredding? Yeah, that was Focus, and Jan Ackerman was the wizard behind the guitar. He fused classical, jazz, and rock like nobody else. His playing on Sylvia or House of the King was elegant but powerful, the kind of stuff that made you want to either give up guitar or start practicing harder. He didn't look like a rock star, he didn't act like one, but he played with a sophistication that made you stop and listen. Criminally underrated, especially considering how influential he was on European prog. Everyone talks about Ray Davies, the songwriter, but Dave, he was the spark that lit the fuse. He's the guy who slashed his amp with a razor blade to get that distorted sound on You Really Got Me, basically inventing the riff that birthed hard rock and punk. Through the 70s and 80s, while the Kinks were evolving, Dave kept reinventing his sound. His solos were always punchy, always melodic, and full of bite. He was the prototype for every sneering British guitarist who came after. Without Dave, you don't get The Who, or Sabbath, or punk. Simple as that. The thing about underrated guitarists is they don't play to be noticed. They play because they have to. It's in their bones. They shape the songs, elevate the band, and inspire the next generation, even if their names never end up on t-shirts. But maybe that's what makes them so special. They weren't trying to be legends, they just were. Who did you like the most? Let us know in the comment section below, and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.